Key of Heart, Chapter 2. My name is Keeta. Sweet oranges, come on. Fresh oranges straight from the farm, come on in. 3 kilogram for 100. The inviting voice from the megaphone on that tall steel-reinforced pickup truck slowly approached the market. The voices rotated depending on the type of product being sold. I woke up from my reverie and looked up from the pile of scrap of cloth that I was sorting into plastic bags according to my grandfather's instruction. Although selling used scraps of cloth only provided a small amount of additional income, it was enough to cover the monthly water and electricity bills and also provided additional income for those who bought them. Even though I was tired of sitting with my back bent every month, because each type of scrap of cloth was different in weight, color, and texture, the work slowed down more than usual because I couldn't concentrate much. I put them in bags after they were left in a messy pile in a corner of the shop. My grandfather looked away from his old sewing machine, turned to me, and shook his head slightly, as he usually does when he gets annoyed. Hurry up, Pete. Today I will come to get it. I accepted even though I was very tired because last night, before I could sleep, I had to help my grandfather work and edit the piano playing clips that I recorded at Brother June's house to upload to YouTube. Yes, that's right. I am a music YouTuber with quite a few followers. But my clips only show the sound and fingertips of me playing sweet and heavy songs, depending on my mood. I like to upload clips late at night so that my grandfather doesn't know that I'm working. And this gives me a monthly income without having to rely on the money I save for my future education. Noi's a grandma's granddaughter. She's a widow with children. Grandma, the youngest remaining girl, is a friend in the tea party with my grandfather, so they are quite close. Grandfather felt sorry for her, so he helped her out by giving her some work to help pick up. Sometimes he would give her scraps of cloth to make small handicrafts or sell them to Noi to make car cleaning cloths to sell at the market. So I had to hurry up and do it. Last night, I had to hurry up and pick up more than 10 shirts so that grandfather could deliver them to the employees of the company in the next alley to wear in time to open the new Shophouse branch. I don't like this job at all. Hurry up, Key. Grandfather, tell me again. I could only pout my lips but lower my head to finish quickly so that I could go to Brother Chune's graduation party at the big house tomorrow. Because he invited me. I was so happy. Whenever Brother Chune's family had a party, his parents were very kind to me when I helped out. And Pack always gave me some food and snacks, even when I disturbed Brother Chune's piano lessons. Brother Chune's father, Uncle Mahadan, was an extremely kind person. He asked me to talk to him about his soup shop and become a customer at his shop. I really like them and hope that one day I would have the chance to repay the favor of the red rice and hot curry. But that was still a long way off. Today, let's think about something more personal. What should I wear tomorrow? What hairstyle should I get? Grandfather, do you think my hairstyle looks good? Okay, is it okay or handsome? I asked grandfather, even though I knew he didn't care. Grandfather glanced at him for a moment before lowering his head to continue sewing until I sighed loudly. Grandfather glanced again and shook his head in exasperation. You're handsome. Will you be finished yet, Key? I'm in a hurry. I realized that I had accidentally pouted when grandfather greeted me again for the 3rd time. This time, I hurriedly folded the last pile of cloth into a bag and tied it in a knot. Should I take it to Na's house? No, go do whatever you want. Before you go, close the shop door for me first. Okay, I quickly accepted enthusiastically before rushing to the door. I pulled the blinds together quickly before pulling the iron door closed, because the long black sedan that pulled in front of the shop made me stop. What kind of car is this? Wow, so beautiful. I couldn't help but admire the shiny, clean out of the car. Will I ever have the good fortune to ride in such a luxurious car in this life? I didn't realize I had been staring for so long until the rear window slowly rolled down. I looked up at the person sitting in the car with a proud face in amazement. What kind of person looks so good from the side even with big black sunglasses and that sharp jawline? This kind of face must be the golden skill. Even with sunglasses, I can see his eyes. I think that he's still so handsome. I'm really impressed with him. I don't know how long I stared, but the sound of his clearing his throat and his next words made me unhappy. Hey, little boy, I pointed at myself, not really happy with what he said. Did you call me? Ness, you, come on. I let go of the door, walked closer, and looked down at the person sitting in the back. I am not a little boy, I'm 19. He looked at me from head to toe, then smiled and asked, Really, Ness? I said. I saw his lips curve up a little on one side like he was smirking. What's wrong? I asked shortly, starting to get annoyed that I thought he looked good. I had to swallow my own saliva. Suddenly, he took off his sunglasses. I didn't realize that I was stunned by his handsome face until the driver, who was wearing a suit like his boss but didn't wear sunglasses, stepped up to stand next to me and bowed down to ask his boss. I finally came to my senses. Sir, is that a dirty rat? What? Who are you talking about? I staring at the two men. They said something that only the two of them knew and then stared at me intently. Finally you found him. Congratulations, the driver said as if he was relieved, but I was blushing. I didn't know if what the two of them said about Dirty Rat was about me, but judging from the embarrassed expression on the driver's face when he met my eyes, it could be anyone else but me standing here. How dare you insult me in front of my house? Who's your dirty rat? I shouted at that guy and he smiled and pointed at me. Are you crazy? He sneered before opening the door and getting out of the car, walking around front of the car. I looked at him with a crossed eye until I noticed that he was much taller than me. My height was only up to his shoulders. I tried to straighten my chest so that I wouldn't look small or weak, and wouldn't let him overpower me, but it seemed that he knew what was going on. I almost lost my composure because of his teasing and annoying manner. If the driver hadn't come to block me, I would have fought him one short ways to make it known. I'll handle this myself. Leave it to me, Ness. The boss nodded but couldn't help but stare at me for a moment before walking to stand in front of the shop's open door. I quickly blocked him. Are you here to make a suit or came to get a suit? Oh, why did you come? The driver cut in front of me and asked, Is this Mr. Samm'p's house? Ness, are you came to see my grandfather? Ness, are you his grandson? Ness, this time, the boss answered curtly. I was starting to get irritated. My grandfather is busy. If you have anything to say, please talk to me. I am the future owner of this fashionable suit shop. You. He chuckled and sneered. I was starting to get annoyed, but the sound of slipper dragging from behind me let me know that my grandfather was here. So I quickly turned around to block him. Grandfather, someone came to see you, but I told you the shop was closed today. Since the customers came early in the morning, come in. The shop is open all day today. Oh, just now, Grandfather told me to close the shop because he was working late and couldn't keep it open. but his happy expression made me pause. Who's here? That's him. I pointed at the two men standing in front of the luxury car. Grandfather looked over my head to the target, and his face showed excitement, so I had to look back. Sir, whose is he? His name is Three. I noticed my grandfather's eyes welling up with tears as he watched the arrogant man step forward and stop in front of him. He bowed to my grandfather and looked up again. This time, I could see his face clearly. So handsome. The man was probably almost 190 centimeters tall, slim, and wore a neat black suit. His legs were almost that long, making me look like a dwarf when he stopped in front of me. Instead of paying attention to the person who had come to see me, I felt his eyes staring at me again. Why did his eyes look familiar? It made me feel hot and cold. He was really staring at me. Actually, I wasn't imagining it. I saw my grandfather tremble as he hugged the person in front of me for a moment before stepping back just and beside me. Not only that, he also held my head down and bowed it down. Hello, Keeta. My grandfather lowered my head until I saw the sharp, black leather shoes of that guy in front of me. I could only pout in annoyance that the owner of the shoes was laughing in my throat for me to hear. What are you laughing about? I saw a green glare, so I could only smile wryly. Then grandfather tapped on my arm again. Don't be rude. I wasn't rude. I complained to my grandfather. Who is he? The sharp eyes staring at me even more annoyed, but I had to keep my cool and watch. By the way, do you want to come and get a suit made, sir? Please help me get a new suit made for Dad to wear when he leaves the hospital. The tall man like a Greek god statue spoke for the first time, but his tone was filled with worry. How could your dad not feel it? Yes, that means your condition must be getting better. Or did he tell you what color you want? Up to you choose. He replied and then looked into my grandfather's eye. But there's another thing that my dad asked me to come and see you. Grandpa's face immediately turned pale. Or is it about the contract? Les, it's due next year. Oh yeah, it's going to be 20 years. What kind of promise?